Welcome to A Journey in Song, and thank you for joining us today. We explore the experiences Manda writes about in an attempt at self-healing through creating as a South African author, poet, lyricist, and storyteller. She uses her own experiences to ground her work in, and we get to peek into her real feelings.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to getting into this one.
Yeah, me too. So today we're doing a deep dive into this highly resonant track by Manda Menzies, and it's called Staying in My Lane.
Right. And it's such a, it's a really powerful piece of work.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this, because what might seem on the surface like just a straightforward set of lyrics is actually functioning as this brilliant mechanical roadmap for setting emotional boundaries.
Exactly. I mean, we're really going to dissect how a writer reclaims their agency, when they're faced with this kind of severe emotional withholding.
Yeah, and emotional withholding is just, it's brutal. So I think the best way to do this is to just walk through the lyrics chronologically, like trace Manda's emotional evolution from start to finish.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Let's do it.
Okay, so the opening lines.
Mm-hmm.
The narrator says, "Another day, another situation. You told me a little bit, I still don't know all of it, just enough to know that I choose to let this go."
Oh, I mean, the mundane exhaustion in those first few words is just striking.
Right. Another day, another situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's not this like sudden explosive betrayal. It's a pattern. It's this chronic grinding attrition that she's dealing with.
It's so tiring. It really is.
And the tension is entirely located in that partial truth, the being told just a little bit, but they're never giving you the whole story.
It makes me think of imagine someone hands you this complex, beautiful puzzle to solve.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, like you sit down, you're ready to do the work, right?
Yeah.
But 10 minutes in, you realize they're intentionally keeping half the pieces in their pocket.
Wow. Yeah, they're just holding on to them.
Exactly. And they watch you struggle, knowing full well you literally cannot complete the picture. So the question is, how long do you sit at that table burning your own energy before you realize you're being played?
That's such a perfect analogy for what emotional withholding actually feels like in practice.
Thank you. But, looking at those lines, I kind of want to push back on something.
Sure, go for it.
The narrator says she chooses to let this go. And it's really tempting to look at that phrase and think of it as, I don't know, this enlightened peace or this elevated forgiveness, right?
Right, like a Zen master sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But in the context of being kept in the dark, being denied the puzzle pieces, I mean, is that an act of genuine peace? Or is it just a defense mechanism against being starved of the truth?
Oh, that's a really good distinction to make. I mean, from a psychological standpoint, this isn't about peace at all.
No.
No, it's pure damage control. The brain relies on complete data sets to keep us safe, right? So when someone gives you a partial truth, they are actively corrupting your data set.
Wow, corrupting the data set. That's intense.
It is, and the brain goes into absolute overdrive trying to fill in the blanks, which creates this massive cognitive load. So letting it go is just the nervous system saying, I'm burning out, I have to shut this down.
That makes so much sense. And we see that shutdown happen in the very next verse.
Yeah.
She writes, "You don't have to answer me. You can keep your answers, and I have stopped wanting to know."
Yes, and what's fascinating here is how the narrator completely neutralizes the other person's power.
Right, because the withholding is the power.
Exactly. In a dynamic like this, that secrecy becomes a currency. The person holding the answers has a monopoly.
But only if you actually want to buy what they're selling.
You nailed it. That's exactly it. By explicitly saying, I have stopped wanting to know, she just crashes the market on their secrets.
I love that. Crashing the market on their secrets. So the hidden answers just lose all their value.
They do. The other person is left hoarding this resource that nobody even cares about anymore.
But, I mean, we have to acknowledge that crashing that market, devaluing your own curiosity, it's not like flipping a switch. It's not a painless process.
Oh, far from it. It's incredibly painful.
Yeah, and the lyrics really expose this vulnerable core right after that. She asks, "Why should you tell me? Why should I care? Maybe it's because we said that love was there."
Yeah, oof. That line always gets me.
It's a huge crack in her armor, right? Because she's been so clinical, so detached up to this point.
It really is. It proves this isn't some cold calculation.
Exactly. It reminds you, as the listener, that there was a promise here. We said that love was there. It raises the stakes so much.
It anchors the whole process in profound grief. She's mourning the ghost of a promise. Love inherently implies safety and transparency.
And having to build these heavy defenses in a place that was supposed to be safe, It's just a tragic necessity. You can feel how much it hurts to have to do this.
You really can. But the lyrics also show us that you can't just stay in that grief. You have to mourn it, yes, but then you have to establish the boundary.
Right. Or you just get sucked right back into the cycle.
Exactly. And that's where the narrative pivots into this fierce containment. She says, I will not beg anymore. So you can relax, keep your secrets, stay in your lane, and I will stay in mine.
I will not beg anymore. Just the amount of dignity she has climbed back in that one line is unbelievable.
It really is. It's a complete reclamation of her self-respect.
And here is where we get the title of the song, right? Stay in your lane. And we hear that idiom all the time in casual conversation.
Right, like, hey, mind your own business.
Yeah. But here, it's completely stripped of that casual vibe. It transforms into this literal spatial survival tactic.
A physical barrier to stop the emotional bleeding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lane has these bright painted lines. It dictates exactly where you end and I begin. And withholder thrives on blurring those lines, keeping you constantly swerving into their lane to figure out what they're hiding.
Yes. So by assigning these rigid lanes, she's cordoning off the contamination.
Cordoning off the contamination. Wow. So, tracking these verses chronologically like this naturally leads us to a much larger question.
What's that?
Well, what does this all mean for the narrator's psychological state? Like, how is she actually surviving this on a structural level?
I can answer that directly. Today's song was born from the struggle of emotional withholding and a one-sided relationship dynamic. It was written to address the psychological state of exhaustion and the somatic need to establish self-protective boundaries.
Okay, let's look at that self-protective boundary, because here's where it gets really interesting. She writes, there is only so much of me, but I think, actually I know, the bit that is left I will keep for me.
Oh, that parenthetical moment is just brilliant.
It's pure emotional triage. It's like she's taking an inventory of her completely depleted reserves, and she's aggressively hoarding whatever is left just to survive.
That's the perfect way to describe it. It's a shift from being entirely relationally focused, worrying about the we, to pure self-preservation.
Right, the energetic cost of extracting the truth is just too high. She's looking at the ledger and realizing she's about to go emotionally bankrupt.
Yes. And I want to highlight the mechanics of that specific realization in the lyrics, going from I think to actually...
I know.
Yeah, that correction. You don't usually see that left in a final draft.
No, you usually edit out I think, to sound more polished.
Yeah.
But leaving it in there showcases this real-time cognitive realization of her own self-worth.
It's like we get to witness the exact millisecond her spine stiffens.
Exactly, I think, is a hypothesis. It leaves room for the other person to argue, but actually I know is an embodied truth. It's irrefutable.
She's locking the vault on her remaining emotional capital.
She really is. And this raises an important question about how we fabricate our own agency when we are denied it by others.
No, fabricated agency. Tell me more about that.
Well, the pain in this song stems from a passive state, right? The other person is not wanting her to know. She's trapped in a deprivation that she didn't create.
Right, they're holding the cards. Yes. So the cure cannot rely on them deciding to show their cards. The cure has to be an active internal choice to walk away from the table entirely.
And we see that active choice so clearly in the final block of lyrics. She says, I think this is better than you not wanting me to know. Now that I choose to let it go, let you go, let it all go.
That repetition at the end is so crucial to the whole strategy.
It really is. It's this cascading mechanical uncoupling. I just find it fascinating. Like, she drops the argument first, let it go.
Right, she stops asking for the secret.
Yeah, but then she realizes that's not enough to be safe, so she drops the person, let you go.
The ultimate boundary.
Exactly. And then finally, she drops the entire emotional burden, let it all go. It's a step-by-step systemic shutdown.
And that shutdown, that daily practice of repeating the mechanism, is what ensures long-term somatic safety. Every time the curiosity flares up, she has to make that active choice again.
Right. Another day, another situation, another choice to stay in her lane.
It's the ultimate prioritization of her own internal stability over someone else's shadows.
It really is. And I want to turn this directly to you, listening right now. Think about the relational lanes in your own life.
Yeah, we all have them. Family, friends, romantic partners.
Exactly. Have you ever completely exhausted yourself trying to extract the truth from someone? Have you drained your own reserves trying to force transparency when the other person is just totally committed to keeping things opaque?
It's a really hard thing to look at, honestly.
It is. But at what point does sitting at that table, waiting for the other person to play fair, Stop being an act of love and start being an act of self-harm.
That is the crucial question, isn't it?
Yeah. When is the healthier option to just look at the puzzle, accept that half the pieces are missing, and walk away? I think Manda's lyrics really challenge us to confront that.
They absolutely do. And I think just to sort of leave you with a final thought on this, it requires us to really shift how we perceive resolution.
How do you mean?
Well, society conditions us to believe that closure requires absolute honesty, right? Like every secret has to be uncovered, every conflict has to be fully resolved for us to move on.
Oh, for sure. We're totally taught that.
But if we look at the mechanics we've explored today, we have to consider a radically different approach. True emotional independence might not actually come from uncovering every hidden truth.
Wow. Really? So where does it come from?
It comes from becoming entirely unapologetically comfortable with the unknown. It's realizing that your own psychological peace is infinitely more valuable than someone else's secret.
Your piece is more valuable than their secret. That is incredibly powerful and a perfect place to leave it for today. The music is by Manda Menzies, available on YouTube. If this work resonates, please support an independent creative. Like, share, and subscribe. We look forward to sharing her next emotional journey with you. Until next time.